Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Imagine this for a second. You're at a big, sprawling family reunion. The kind where the picnic tables are sagging under mountains of potato salad, coleslaw, and Aunt Edna's famous apple pie. The air buzzing with kids shrieking as they chase fireflies across the grass. The sky turning that soft orange-pink as the sun dips below the trees. And there you are, 90 years young, perched on a folding chair with a lemonade in hand, sharp as ever, chuckling at some wild tale your grandkids spinning about their latest adventure. Maybe it's a story about a botched camping trip or a school play gone hilariously sideways, and you're just soaking it in, nodding along, tossing in a, well, back in my day that gets everyone laughing. The breeze is warm, your heart's full to bursting, and you're not just here. You're thriving, living every moment of this life that's stretched past 9 decades with a mix of grit, grace, and a grin that says you've still got plenty of gas in the tank. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? I mean, who wouldn't want that? Hitting 90, 95, maybe even cracking triple digits, still kicking it, still loving every sunrise like it's a personal invitation to keep the party going? But here's the big question hanging over it all. How do you get there? What's the secret sauce to not just piling on the years, but piling on good years? Ones where you're not stuck in some creaky rocking chair, foggy-brained and frail, waiting for the clock to wind down, but out there living loud, chasing what lights you up, feeling like you've got a front row seat to your own epic encore? You might be thinking it's all about chugging green smoothies every morning, running marathons till your knees give out, or popping some miracle pill the doctor's got stashed away in a vault somewhere. But let me stop you right there, because spoiler alert, it's not what you think. Nope. Today we're cracking open the vault on this one, diving deep into 6 proven clues, backed by hard science, real-life stories from folks who've walked the walk, and a little bit of good old-fashioned elbow grease that can carry you past 90 with your spark blazing bright. This isn't about trendy diets, gimmicky gadgets, or quick fixes that fizzle out by next week. It's about the stuff that sticks, the habits and hacks that people who've hit that 90-plus mark swear by. The kind of wisdom you can take to the bank, or at least to the picnic table. So grab your coffee, your water bottle, maybe that herbal tea you've been meaning to try because it smells like a meadow. Settle into your favorite spot, the couch, the porch swing, wherever you feel at home, and let's unpack these 6 secrets to a long, rich, kick-ass life. Because if you're ready to thrive past 90, to make those years glow like gold, this is your roadmap, your backstage pass, your ticket to the show. Feeling that little buzz of excitement already? Like, yeah, I'm in, let's do this? Drop a quick 1 in the comments. I'd love to know you're here with me, ready to ride this wave all the way to 90 and beyond. Let's kick things off with a clue that's less about what you do with your hands and more about who you're sharing your days with. Keeping your people close, your social web tight, your heart tied to a crew that keeps you grounded. You hit your later years, say your 60s roll around, then the 70s sneak up, and by the 80s, life's playing a game of shuffleboard with your address book. Friends start retiring and scattering. Some chase the sun to Florida condos, others settle into quiet cabins up north. A few, sadly, fade away to time or illness, leaving empty spots at the table you didn't expect so soon. Family gets busy too. Kids turn into adults with mortgages and minivans. Grandkids have soccer practice or college apps. And suddenly your phone's not lighting up with texts or ringing off the hook like it did back when you were the hub of every plan. Maybe you're not driving as much. Those night roads feel blurrier now. Or you've moved to a spot where the neighbors keep to themselves. And it's tempting to shrug it all off and say, I'm good on my own. I've got my TV lineup, my crossword puzzles, my cat curling up on the couch like a furry heating pad. Heck, maybe you've even perfected your solo groove. Coffee brewing at 8 sharp, news blaring at 9, a nap at noon because why not? And it feels comfy, safe, like you've built a little fortress of just fine. But here's the truth bomb dropping right in your lap. Humans aren't wired to go it alone, especially not if you're aiming to hit 90 with your wits and your joy intact. Science doesn't mess around on this one. Big studies like the Harvard Grant study, which tracked people for dang near 80 years, found that strong relationships are the single biggest predictor of a long, happy life. beating out stuff like cholesterol levels, how many push-ups you can do, or how fat your bank account's sitting. It's wild. Your connections matter more than your triglycerides. Your brain craves that human spark, those random chats over a steaming mug where you spill about your week, the belly laughs when someone botches a punchline, the "hey, how you holding up?" from a buddy who knows your quirks inside out. It's not just about feeling warm and fuzzy. It keeps your mind sharp as a tack, your heart pumping steady, your stress levels from spiking into the red zone. Think of Clara, 92, a total firecracker I met at a community picnic a couple summers back. She's the kind of woman who'd make you wish you'd brought a notebook just to jot down her zingers. She'd lost her husband at 75 to a heart attack, half her friends by 80 to moves or the inevitable, but you'd never peg her for lonely. I found her there, apron tied tight, dishing out cornbread like she was feeding an army, swapping stories with neighbors, young ones, old ones, didn't matter. She'd lean in, eyes twinkling, and say stuff like, "Oh honey, you think that's a mess? Let me tell you about 73. Her secret? She never let her circle shrink to nothing. After her husband passed, she could have holed up. Plenty did. But instead, she joined a knitting club at the senior center, grumbling at first about these kids with their fancy yarn, but sticking it out till she was trading patterns like a pro. Then she started hosting game nights, euchre, mostly, with a side of trash talk, teaching her grandkids the rules while they taught her how to work FaceTime so she could call her niece every Sunday. No excuses. Keeps me young. She'd wink over a slice of that cornbread, and her doctor backed her up. Her memory's a steel trap, her blood pressure's textbook perfect. Her mood's brighter than a July afternoon, all because she's got people in her corner. You can snag this clue too. It's not about turning into a social butterfly overnight or throwing ragers every weekend. Start small, real small. Call an old pal this week. Just 5 minutes. Hey, remember that time we got stuck in the rain? Wave at the neighbor pruning his roses, ask how his garden's doing, let it roll into a 2-minute chat. Join something. A book club at the library where you fumble through the first meeting, a walking crew that's just a handful of folks looping the park, even a church potluck if that's your vibe, bringing a dish you're proud of. Maybe it's a virtual thing. Zoom coffee with a cousin, if getting out's tough. Doesn't have to be a packed house. One good thread, one voice on the other end, can pull you through the years. I tried this myself, called my high school buddy Mike after years of radio silence, just to shoot the breeze about old football games, and now we're texting dumb memes every week. Keeps me grinning, keeps me grounded. Clara's still knitting at 92, probably trash-talking someone over a pair of socks right now. Your turn's waiting. Next up's a clue that sounds so basic you might roll your eyes, but trust me, it's a heavy hitter. Move your body, every darn day, even if it's just a shuffle or a sway. You're probably thinking, duh, exercise. Heard it a million times from every gym bro and morning show host. And yeah, we've all seen the muscle heads flexing their way to 50, sweat dripping, biceps popping. But here's the deal. Past 90, it's not about benching your body weight or clocking a sub 10-minute mile. It's about keeping the engine running smooth, the rust off your joints, the gears loose so you don't grind to a halt. After 65, your body starts playing hardball. Muscles slip away at about 1% a year if you don't nudge them. Bones thin out like old paper. Joints stiffen up like they're begging for WD-40, and your balance wobbles if you're not careful. Sitting around all day isn't resting. It's a slow ticket to creaky knees, a sore back, and maybe a walker you'd rather kick than lean on. But here's the flip side. The good news that'll make you sit up. You don't need a fancy gym membership, a treadmill gathering dust, or a personal trainer yelling one more rep to make this work. Studies, like from the blue zones, those magical pockets around the world where folks hit 100 like it's no big deal, show that natural, everyday movement beats hardcore workouts hands down when it comes to stacking years. Walking to the store, gardening till your hands are dirty, stretching out the kinks, even dancing to the radio in your socks. It all counts, and it adds up big. Take Hiroshi, 94, a guy I read about from Okinawa, one of those blue zone legends. He's no gym rat, never touched a dumbbell, wouldn't know a protein shake if it splashed him. But every morning, rain or shine, he's out in his little veggie patch, squatting low to yank weeds, hoeing rows of sweet potatoes with a rhythm that's pure habit. Then he strolls to the market, bamboo basket slung over his shoulder, chatting with vendors about the catch of the day. His legs are wiry but tough as nails, his back straight as a board, and he's dodging heart disease, diabetes, all the usual suspects like their child's play. Doctors say it's that daily grind, low-key, steady, baked into his life, that keeps his ticker humming, his bones solid, his blood flowing like he's 60. You don't need a plot of land, a tropical island, or Hiroshi's knack with a hoe to pull this off. Start right where you're standing, with what you've got. Shuffle to the mailbox today. 10 steps, 20. Whatever feels good. Sway side to side while you brush your teeth. Stretch your arms during the commercial break when the detective show's getting good. 5 minutes, then bump it to 10 tomorrow. My Uncle Pete, 88, swears by what he calls his kitchen laps. Paces around the counter while his coffee brews, muttering about the weather, says it beats the couch any day of the week. He's still climbing stairs without huffing, still chasing his dog around the yard when the mood strikes. I gave it a shot myself. Started walking to the corner store instead of driving. Just a 15-minute loop. And now my legs feel springier. My head's clearer. You can too. Stand up right now, shake out those shoulders, take a little loop around the room, maybe hum a tune while you're at it. Tomorrow, add a bit more. Dance to that old Motown track you can't resist. Hoist a watering can to the porch plants. Sweep the driveway just because. It's not about dripping sweat or chasing some fitness badge. It's about staying in the game, keeping your body primed to carry you past 90 and into whatever adventure's next. Hiroshi's still weeding at 94. Your shuffle's calling. Here's a clue that'll catch you off guard because it's not the usual suspect on the longevity hit list. Eat light, eat smart, but don't turn it into a religion you're praying to every meal. You're probably thinking, oh great, here comes the diet lecture, kale smoothies, quinoa bowls, no more pizza Fridays. But hold your horses. This isn't about starving yourself or swearing off everything that makes your taste buds sing. Past 90, it's not about what you ban from your plate, it's about what you keep on it. Simple, real food. Not too much, not too little, served up with a side of chill. The longevity champs, like those Okinawans we keep circling back to, live by this thing called harahachi-bu, which basically means eating till you're 80% full, not stuffed to the gills like it's Thanksgiving every day. It's not about deprivation or some joyless march through a field of spinach. It's about balance, less strain on your gut, your heart, your whole system, so you're not dragging yourself through the years. Overeating, even the good stuff, like a second helping of grandma's lasagna, taxes your body hard, piles on extra pounds that tug at your joints, spikes your blood sugar till it's a roller coaster, and ages you faster than a cheap pair of sneakers falling apart in the rain. But undereating's no picnic either. Your engine needs fuel to fight off the years, not just fumes to limp along. Look at Maria, 91, a Spitfire from Sardinia. I caught in a documentary a while back. She's the kind of woman who'd make you wish you'd brought an extra plate just to keep up. She's not counting calories or banning carbs, loves her ravioli with a little ricotta, thank you very much. But her plate's small, deliberate. A scoop of zucchini from her garden, a chunk of crusty bread she baked herself, a drizzle of olive oil that's green as a forest, and a glass of red wine she sips slow with her son at supper. She's lean, not skinny, walks to the market without a cane, and her eyes twinkle like she's got a secret she's not telling, probably because she does. Science backs her up. It's the mix that does it. Mostly plants, a bit of lean protein, healthy fats, not a mountain of it, keeping her inflammation low, her energy high, her insides humming like a well-tuned car. You don't need a vineyard, a Mediterranean zip code, or Maria's knack with a rolling pin to make this work. Start right where you're sitting, with what's in your fridge. Next meal, cut the portion just a smidge, skip the second scoop of mashed potatoes, savor the first till it's a memory. Swap the soda for a glass of water with a twist of lemon. Takes 2 seconds, tastes better than you'd think. Toss some greens on the side of your burger. Spinach, lettuce, whatever's not wilting in the drawer. My neighbor Sal, 87, ditched his midnight raids on the cookie jar for a handful of almonds. Grumbled about it at first, but now he sleeps like a baby. Says he feels lighter on his feet. Even started whistling again. I tried it too. Downsized my pasta bowl, added a sliced tomato with a pinch of salt, and dang if I don't feel less bloated after dinner. You can too. Eat till you're good, not groaning, maybe sneak a square of dark chocolate after because life's too short to skip it entirely. Watch how that lightness carries you past 90, steady as a rock, strong as Maria pouring that wine. Now, let's dive into a clue that's all in your head, literally, and might just be the game changer you didn't see coming. Keep your mind buzzing, curious, alive, like it's a muscle you're flexing every day. Past 90, a sharp brain's not just nice to have, it's your golden ticket. Not only for remembering where you parked the car or what you ate for breakfast, but for loving life, staying you, keeping that twinkle in your eye when you tell a story. After 70, your noggin can start to slow down. Synapses get lazy, memory fuzzes around the edges, focus drifts, if you let it coast on autopilot, doing the same old till it's a rut. But flip that switch, keep it humming with new stuff. New challenges, new questions, new anything, and it'll carry you far, like a trusty old truck that just won't quit. Research backs this up big time, like the Rush Memory and Aging Project, tracking folks for years, showing that people who challenge their brains with puzzles, books, even picking up a new skill live longer, dodge Alzheimer's like pros, and stay quick on their feet, mentally speaking. It's not about being some brainiac with a wall of degrees. It's about not letting the gears rust, keeping the wiring live. Think of George, 93, a guy I met at a library talk a couple years back. He's the kind of character you'd want at your dinner table just to hear him riff. He's no scholar, dropped out at 16 to fix cars in his dad's garage, hands black with grease till he was 50. But at 80, he decided to try chess, fumbling with pawns and rooks till he could beat his grandson without breaking a sweat. Then he tackled Spanish off one of those free apps, grumbled about the verbs, too many blasted endings, but stuck with it till he was chatting with the bodega guy down the street about plantains and weather, grinning like a kid who'd cracked a code. His mind's a steel trap, recalls every move from last week's game, every new word he stumbled over, and he's still driving, still cracking jokes that land just right, still the guy you call when your alternator's shot because he'll fix it blindfolded. Doctors say it's the stretch, new pathways firing up in his brain that keeps him ticking, keeps the fog at bay. You don't need a PhD, a chessboard, or George's knack with a wrench to pull this off. Start small, where you're at. Swap the endless TV reruns for a podcast. True crime if you're into twists, history if you like the big picture, gardening if you want dirt under your nails. Grab a Sudoku book from the dollar store. Fumble through the first grid, laugh when you mess it up. My first one looked like a toddler's scribble, but I kept going. My Aunt Ruth, 89, took up knitting patterns online after years of winging it, cursed the screen till she figured out the zoom, but now her scarves are art, and she's sharper than me some days, catching my math slips over coffee. I gave it a shot too, started a word-a-day app, butchered ephemeral for a week, but now I toss it into chats just to see people blink. You can too. Pick one thing this week. A new recipe off YouTube with spices you've never touched, a word game on your phone, a how-to video on fixing that squeaky door. Keep that brain buzzing, stumble through the awkward, and it'll haul you past 90 with a grin that says, I've still got it. Here's a clue that's sneaky because it's so quiet you might miss it, but it's pure gold when you lock it in. Sleep deep, sleep enough, make it sacred like it's your personal superpower. You're probably thinking, sleep? Seriously? That's the big secret? And yeah, it sounds basic, like something your mom nagged you about when you were a kid staying up past midnight with a flashlight and a comic book. But past 90, sleep's not just a luxury or a recharge. It's a fountain of youth, a reset button, a shield against the wear and tear of time. After 65, catching those Z's gets trickier. Nights shrink. You're waking at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why the heck you're up. Naps sneak in uninvited during the day and throw everything off. Skimp on it. 6 hours here, 4 there, tossing and turning, and your body pays a steep price. Stress climbs like a rocket. Your immune system slumps so every cold sticks around. Your brain fogs up till you're forgetting names mid-sentence. Your heart grumbles with every skipped beat. But nail it. 7-8 hours of deep, real rest, and it's like you've tapped into magic. Studies, like from the National Sleep Foundation and a pile of others, tie good sleep to lower risks of everything that tries to knock you out early. Diabetes, strokes, heart attacks, even those pesky wrinkles that creep up when you're not looking. It's when your system cleans house, flushes toxins, repairs cells, keeps you humming like a well-oiled machine. Look at Elsie, 95. A woman I heard about through a friend's grandma circle. She's the kind of lady who'd make you rethink every late night you've ever pulled. She's no night owl. Lights out at 9 sharp, up at 6 like clockwork. No exceptions. No TV blaring in the bedroom, just a book till her eyes droop. Usually some cozy mystery with a twist she spots a mile away, and a cup of chamomile tea if she's feeling antsy from the day. She's spry as heck, gardens every morning, pulling carrots with a grip that'd surprise you, remembers every birthday in the family without a calendar, and credits sleep like it's her religion. Keeps the cobwebs out of my head and the creaks out of my bones. Her doc nods, her vitals are gold star, her mind's a vault, all because she treats those 8 hours like a treasure chest. You don't need a fancy mattress that costs a fortune or a cabinet full of pills to make this work. Start simple, right where you're at. Set a bedtime tonight, say 10 p.m., and stick to it. Even if you're tempted to binge one more episode, dim the lights an hour before, swap the glaring bulbs for a lamp, let your brain wind down. Skip the late coffee or that sneaky soda. My dad used to chug cola at 9, wondered why he was wired till midnight. My dad, 86 now, ditched his midnight news habit for a wind-down walk around the block. Just 10 minutes, breathing the cool air, and now he sleeps like a rock, says it's the best trick he's ever learned. I tried it too. Cut the phone scrolling, swapped it for a few pages of a novel, and dang if I don't wake up clearer, less groggy. You can too. Tonight, shut off the screen early, breathe deep till your shoulders drop, maybe crack a window for that fresh air hug. Let sleep do its thing. It's your secret weapon past 90, quiet but mighty, ready to carry you through. Last clue's the big kahuna, the glue that ties it all together, the one that'll keep you going when the road gets bumpy. Find your why, your reason to get up every single day, your personal fire that won't flicker out. Past 90, it's not just about breathing air or ticking off birthdays, it's about living for something. Having a purpose that lights you up from the inside. The Japanese call it ikigai, your reason for being, your spark. And it's why those Okinawans hit triple digits with grins that make you jealous. Without it, you're drifting. Days blur into a gray mush, motivation fades like an old receipt, and time slips through your fingers faster than you can grab it. But with it, you're unstoppable, a force of nature no calendar can tame. Studies, like a big one from The Lancet, say a sense of purpose slashes your mortality risk by 20%, keeps you kicking longer, stronger, happier, because you've got a mission, big or small. It's not always some grand world-changing thing. Could be your family, a craft you love, a cause that tugs at your heart. Take Frank, 96, a vet I met at a VA event a few years back. He's the kind of guy who'd make you wish you'd recorded every word he said. Lost his wife at 82 to cancer, could have checked out right then, faded into a recliner with the TV on mute, but nope, he started mentoring kids at the community center every Tuesday. War stories from his Navy days, life lessons he'd learned the hard way, dished out over juice boxes and cracked linoleum tables. His eyes light up when he talks about it. One kid, Joey, even calls him Captain. And his steps firm, his handshakes of ice because he's got a why that pulls him out of bed. You don't need a uniform or a medal to find yours. Start where you are, with what you've got. Tend to plant on your windowsill till it blooms. Call your niece every week just to hear her laugh. Help a neighbor fix a fence because you can. My grandma, 91, bakes cookies for the shelter down the road. Oatmeal raisins, soft as pillows. Says it's her job now. Keeps her hands busy and her heart full, even on the gray days. I gave it a shot. Started volunteering at a food pantry, hauling bags of rice, cracking jokes with the crew, and dang if it doesn't make me feel 10 feet tall. You can too. This week, pick one thing. A goal to chase, a joy to share, a little give back that's yours. Could be writing letters to old friends, planting a tomato vine, teaching your grandkid how to whistle. It's your fuel past 90. Light it up, let it burn bright, and watch how it carries you through. These 6 clues. Stay connected with your people. Move your body daily. Eat light and smart. Keep your mind buzzing, sleep deep and sacred. Find your why. They're not rocket science, not some flashy fad you'll ditch by next month, just proven threads to weave a life past 90 that's rich, real, and so dang you. They're not about perfection. Nobody's grading you, no gold stars required. Just about stacking the deck in your favor, sidestepping the traps that drag you down, grabbing these habits like lifelines to a future where you're still laughing, still loving, still showing up. You've got the years ahead. Don't just count them, make them count, pile on the joy till it spills over. If you're still here, vibing with this, drop a 2 in the comments. What's your favorite clue or one you're gonna try this week? Share it below. Your spark might just ignite someone else's fire. Digging this deep dive? Smash that like button till it hurts, hit subscribe, ring the bell. Let's keep living big, thriving past 90 together. Catch you in the comments. Go make those years golden.